Hi, welcome to my diabetes world. Today I want to discuss guilt. And this is for probably the parents of a diabetic. You tend to believe that it's all your fault. And, it's my fault I gave my son or daughter diabetes. You didn't give anyone diabetes. It's their body immune system fighting for control. Well, not control really, but they take it as an intruder, that the beta cells are somehow an intruder, and their body attacks it. Pure and simple. It doesn't have anything to do with what you have done. It's kind of like, if I didn't give my son or daughter that cream puff one day, or if I allowed them to have sugar, oh my God. No. Pure and simple, it's not your fault. And so often I hear parents break down and cry. And yes, it's important for you to get the feelings out. But it's also important for you to realize it's nothing about you. Okay? You are important and you need to carry on. It's not, yes, I used to love giving candy to my son or daughter. I can remember going out with my mother, and we had to do these runs. She used to work for a major cosmetics firm, and their representatives, we'd have to go out and collect all their orders because of mail strikes or whatever, and we'd end up having Big Macs. And I think my mom really felt bad that, when I became a diabetic, that was part of it. And, I've come to the realization years later that a lot of parents feel this way. And it's not that way one bit. You need to get up and get going with the care of your diabetes. You may need to talk it out, but get it in your mind, in a positive way here, that you had nothing to do with this. For some reason, your son or daughter's body did something. And You may need the shock of it. You may need to cry. You may need to vent. But then, let's get going. Let's care for your son or daughter. It's going to change your life. It's going to change your son or daughter's life. You know, a lot of the freewheeling times where you could get up and just go has really changed. And I think we are more important that nowadays we sort of can talk about our feelings. But first of all, you have to deal with it quickly and get on with caring for your son or daughter. Believe me when I say it's going to be okay. You're going to get over it. Usually, if your son or daughter is young, it's like, oh, okay. How you control the initial response is how much better your son or daughter is going to do. I can remember my mother, while I was in care in this room with a semi-private room with a child who had cancer, and she was staying at a residence just down a couple of blocks from the hospital, and they went out and they had lunch at this residence. It was actually a very nice lunch. And that lady said, well, how are you doing about... And she said, I'm okay. Well, she said, no, you're not. And she kind of turned it around, and her son had cancer, so she had gone through the whole belief or that she needed to talk about it, and they talked about it. They had a quite nice lunch, and from that day on, my mom took a little bit more control. I had got a book. It really wasn't a book. It was like a do-a-tag about that thick with all the information needed, and we'd go through, and I think back to that book and how God things have changed. And my mom was sort of always there for my diabetes, even when I didn't want her, but, you know, just joking. So, depending on what age your son or daughter, whether it's like me, I got it at 13, or it kind of showed up at 13, she was always sort of there. And it's important that you're there. And nowadays, younger kids are getting it. And parents, you need to step up. It's not going to be the end of the world. What's going to disappear is spontaneity. That you need to realize that planning is going to be your number one objective. And you're not going to go anywhere or do anything unless your son or daughter has their medical kit, a plan with their doctor, a school kit, and it's going to be around for the rest of their son or daughter's life. And the more you know is going to help your son or daughter be a better diabetic. Now, most diabetics grow up to be fine individuals that take care of their diabetes and move on. But it all depends on guidance from you. And I was kind of like moving along and growing up, and I think my mom moved away. That sounds bad. No, her and her husband got an ideal opportunity, and I was left with my sister, and probably wasn't always the best that I didn't have really a doctor who really controlled my diabetes. So for a long time there, I was left out to do things on my own. And thinking back, I kind of wish I had more of a guidance. I should have gone to get a new endocrinologist. I didn't even really know one existed for years. But parents, yes, it's happened. Let's move on. And it didn't happen to you. It's not your fault. So, just remember that. Have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.
This is